I became an All-American, and I was drafted in the second round.
Off to New York from
Rogersville.
so you're still very much so a Southern boy, like
Yes,
the big city.
yes.
One who knows me, insert where my love of the big city comes from. Because for me, to this day, it's either
Yeah,
country living or it's the big city.
yeah.
That. So what happens? Will take me back to even just family. So I'm thinking about my aunts and uncles and my grandparents. Like, are they still in Rogersville, or where are they? As Uncle Larry has been drafted and he goes to Detroit.
He goes to Detroit. The only people who was in Rogersville was my brother Billy.
Mhm.
My brother Tommy lived in Killen. My sister Norma lived in Killen, and Billy held down Rogersville good. But eventually, my mom and dad, I built them a house in Killen, Alabama, down behind Tommy, so he could keep a watch on them. That was in 1974. 74, 75. I think the house was finished in 75. So
So why do you do that? I know, but like, how the
uh, that was something, Cherie. It was always in my mind. I said, if I ever get a job, I'm gonna buy my mom and dad a house. And Tennessee State, Larry Dobie, and the New York Jets gave me that opportunity, and I was drafted in the second round. So once I got my bonus, I got a loan, and I set out to get those house plans and put that house up in 74, 75 for my mom and dad. That I felt so great about that. That was one of my top priorities because they had took care of me for 18 years or more, and it's time for me to do something for them, and that's what I wanted to do, and it worked out. Thank God, it worked out. God is good. And they enjoyed it, and that made me happy. They was happy, and I was happy, and it was good to see them smile.
that's amazing.
And and so many good things happened even before that. Back in 1970, 75, I had the opportunity. Coach Winters, the coach for the Jets, came to me and called me into his office, and he said, "We're gonna make a trade." I said, "What?" I'm thinking he's gonna trade me. He said, "No, we're gonna make a trade and for your brother. You think we can get him?" I said, "What?" I said, "Man, yes."
Yeah,
So they traded and got him from Miami, the Dolphins. They had just come off that Super Bowl win in 1974.
time out because we can't glaze over this. So you're in the NFL. Uncle Larry's been for a year, right? There's a year difference in
2
your
years, two. Uncle Larry went to the NFL in 1971.
and he
That
went
was his year.
in the second year he ended up in Miami.
He stayed with Detroit for 3 years and went to Miami
Oh,
for the Super Bowl year in 1974. He was in the Super Bowl.
Don Shula.
Don Shula, the Miami Dolphins.
Just good.
Bob Greasy, yes.
My uncle is a Super Bowl champion. I'm going to insert a photo.
Yeah, Super Bowl champ.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl champ. And I couldn't live it down, Cherie.
I
That's
know
all I could hear.
you
That's all I could hear.
still can't let me
Yeah.
want to mess with you. That's
Yeah.
but there was never or was there, but like not jealousy. This is great. Like this is amazing. Like did your siblings did your parents ever get to come to these games? Did they see you in, at TSU? Did they see you guys in the NFL? How is that happen?
Well, let's start with the main one. Your Uncle Tommy.
Of course, was there, right?
He was at every game, Cherie.
I'm certain.
Home and away.
I'm
Uncle Tommy was the greatest support that you could ever ask for, and he was even out in LA in college when we went way out to LA to play. He was out there, and he was at every away game that we played in college, and became a very strong part of the team. The coaches said, "Well, we can't play till Tommy get here. Where's Tommy?" I said, "He's out there somewhere." So he comes in. His coach take a deep breath, and that was Tommy. He was a part of the team just like we were. So my pro career, my mom and dad came to Atlanta. We played the Atlanta Falcons when I was with the New York Jets. So they came down and had an opportunity to watch me play in my NFL debut against the Falcons. So that was a huge day for me. I enjoyed that a lot. She didn't come to a lot of college games, but she kept the food coming, Cherie. She sent us all this good cooked food, and everybody knew when Tommy came to town, go by Larry and Robert's room because that's where the food was. But that was like that with all the players. When family come to town, everybody was family, and that's the support that we had. You got to realize Uncle Billy was an athlete. Uncle Billy went to Alabama A&M. He played up there, and of course, Norma Jean went to nursing school here in Memphis. So Uncle Raleigh got that apprentice program. He was an apprentice for the government, and then he broke out and went out to Colorado and start teaching, professor, and all that stuff. So we was blessed as a family. Everybody had that opportunity to educate themselves and work in good professions, and it's the field that they chose. So it was good support, and it was very appreciated because it's like when you drive up and you have family in the stands. It's nothing like that. It's just give you that confidence to perform even better. But
do you remember when you would show up at my track meets?
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, not that I was good, right? But they're like, "Oh, your dad."
You could have. Hey, let me say something to you. You could have been the hurdles. You could have set records in the hurdles if you put the work in. I don't think you wanted that as much as you wanted that other thing.
Oh my goodness, Dad. Okay, so you go to New York. I think something fun happens there. We can't give every bit of the story, but I think people who know me know, and I've shared this before because of the connection. So you play with a quarterback that's pretty well known.
Sure, you can't be talking about Joe Namath.
Why do you say
Yes, that was Cherie.
Yes.
That was a key to my, I think, staying in the NFL. Yeah, Joe had great insight. He pushed me, and it just made me that much better because that's what he stood for. He stood for excellence, and he worked at it. And even though a lot of times, Cherie, I don't know how and why and how he did it. Mm-hmm. This man, his knees were so bad, it was sad. He was in a lot of pain, but he worked through it. And one game, Cherie, he just knew how to calm me down. And we're in the locker room before the game. Don't mess with me before any games. It's enough pressure as it is. And then the pressure blocking for Joe Namath, one of the best back in his time. The Super Bowl guy that predict the Super Bowl, and here you are, you're blocking for him. And he pulls up his pants. We're in the locker room. "Hey, Robert." I said, "What?" "Turn around." I said, "Man, ain't my mind on something else." He said, what color is these pants? I said, they white, Joe. They white pants, man. He said, let's keep it that way all day, all day, all day.
Oh, I probably
Yes,
want to feed myself, but
yes. And another situation was going to play, and I hadn't practiced all week. My back was out. Hadn't practiced all week, and so they took me to Chicago anyway. Went to play the Chicago Bears, and so I got up early for treatment before the game. They took me over to the stadium, and we ended up getting treatments. And I'm over there on the table. I know I'm not going to be able to play. And Joe comes over, get on his knees, and we looked each other eye to eye. And he said, hey, I need you today. And got up and walked away. And I played for him that day, played for the team, played for them like I had never been hurt. So, you know, you learn it's a mind thing. You think you can't do something, but that mind and someone else push you and you find out you can. And yep. And you went to, what school did you go to, Cherie?
we all know I went to the University of Alabama. That connection is wild because fast forward eons later, because you guys are old. The day of my college graduation, Joe Namath graduates as well. And you
Yes, I was there. And still remember that. Two of my daughter and one of my best friends graduated together. And of all my friends, it's Joe Namath.
So
that was a great day, Cherie. That was a great day.
Sure. I was a little salty. I was like, of course he had to graduate today. Just still. But no, it was cool. So that's so interesting. I think I posted a picture of you all.
Yeah.
He wrote back to me, and I was like, oh wow. But I mean, of course, that is. I mean, so football takes you from New York to
New Orleans. Archie Manning.
Who that?
Who that?
That's my team.
And went there after the Jets released me. I wasn't traded. I was, as they say, I was cut. The Jets cut me, and they said I was too old. I said, what? I'm 24 years old. So I got some phone calls. Hank Stram called and say, would you come down for a workout? I said, yeah. So I went down for a workout with him, and he said, I'd love to keep you, but I got too many players. So I'm going to keep in touch. He said, if anybody else call you, let me know. So I go back home, and the Denver Broncos call. So I'm on a flight to Denver out there with Raleigh. So I tell Raleigh to pick me up at the airport, and hang out with my brother. And Cherie, I got up the next morning for my workout.
Yes.
You talking about snow? Denver snow?
I don't want any parts of it.
And I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to work out, try to get a job. That was one of the most toughest workouts I've had. And got through that, and went back and hung out with Raleigh, and got a phone call. It was Hank Stram with the New Orleans Saints. And he told me, he said, don't sign with them. When you get back to Alabama, pack your bags and come on down to New Orleans. I said, well, come on down to New Orleans. I just had a tryout. He said, no, I'm going to give you a contract. So I got back to Alabama, told my mom and dad I had to pack another bag, and ended up going to New Orleans. And that worked out. That worked out good. Stayed there. Stayed in New Orleans with Archie Manning, and good group of teammates. A lot of black guys from HBCUs, Emmanuel Sanders, Alex Price. I mean, they are HBCU players are all over the place.
Right.
And that was a good experience because they had played at Jackson State and Alcorn and Florida A&M. All these guys, when you get there, it's sort of like we know each other, but
Right.
it's still a competitive thing. And so I ended up staying in New Orleans for 4 years. And the weirdest thing, football is a cold business. And really after my best year, probably, I get cut from the Saints and packing up that U-Haul again. And you know where I headed, back to Killen.
Home, Alabama.
Headed back to Killen and finished that up with the Saints in 1981. And didn't have any gripes. It didn't end like I wanted it to. So I went on back to Killen. And I was outside working in the yard. And my mom told me I had a phone call. And it was Bobby Bethel with the Washington Redskins. And he said he'd like to give me a tryout. Could I get to the airport in Huntsville, Alabama, and fly into DC? And he would pick me up. I said, okay. So that was a good treat, but had no idea that after I got there and worked out for them, I had no idea that they was going to keep me. So I was down in the locker room getting dressed, getting ready to go back to the airport to come on back to Killen. Bobby called me upstairs and was very honest. He said, we'd like to keep you. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what's on the table? And he told me what he could do for me since it was that started off in the season and he had some players that was hurt and they might come back. He didn't know how long I would be able to stay. I said, well, I appreciate it, however long you can give me. But the craziest thing, Cherie, I didn't take any clothes to stay. I didn't have any clothes to really change into. So that week they was going down to Miami to play the Dolphins. And he said, if you can leave Miami, you can fly home and get some clothes. So we played the Dolphins. And after that game, I took a flight to back to Killen. Got some clothes and they allowed me some days off. So I flew back to DC and put some time in there and till the other guys got well. And they was very nice about it. I think I stayed up there a month. But the craziest thing, Cherie, I was disappointed in myself because I knew I should have been staying and, block for Joe Theismann. I had the opportunity to block for a lot of top quality quarterbacks. And it didn't work out. But what hurt the most was that was my closest shot at going to the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl that year, and I had just left there. So that hurt a little bit. But
you would have fought for it. Like, what would it turn into? Like, just a backup, right?
Yeah, backup. And I thought I had a chance of staying, but like they say, the people that had been with them a while got well. And I say, yeah, I understand. I appreciate the opportunity. So back to Alabama, back to Killen. Felt like that might be the end of it. So I started my teaching career, and I thought maybe that would, be it for his football. I thought it was out of my system, but 1983, I was teaching school at Carbon Heights there in Carbon County. And I get home, my mom will tell me again,
You got
this coach called you for you. I said, what? And they had started the USFL, a new football league. And I gave him a call back, and he said, I'd like to meet with you. I said, Coach. He said, no, come on over and let's sit down and talk. So me and my sidekick, Tommy, got in the car and drove to Birmingham, Alabama. And we met with the head coach, Raleigh Dodge, and he gave me his sale pitch. And I said, Coach, how in the world you know about me? And I said, it's been a long time since we crossed paths. And he said, Rob, you know, I said, yeah, you were with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He said, yeah, I've always admired the type of player that you were. And I was the offensive line coach with the Steelers. I said, wow. And it was very impressive. He thought very highly of your daddy. And I'm saying, well, that's that psychology to get me to come to the Birmingham Stallions. And he laid it out. And I laid out like I told him, I said, you know the NFL, and you know how playing professional ball has been, and how hard it is to adjust to life after football. He said, yeah, I do. I said, Coach, I've been on that road. He said, Rob, let me say something to you. You got a lot of football left. You got a lot of teaching. He said, that school system gonna be there. He said, but this is an opportunity to help the young men get the opportunity to play professional ball, which they won't get in the NFL, but this USFL is going to stick. It's going to be here, but you could help it get off the ground and give it a good start. And he said, I need you. I feel you can do this for me. And I said, okay. So 1983, I resigned from Carbon Heights, shoot down to Birmingham, Alabama. Stay there for 2 years. I get traded up here to Memphis in 1985. Man, that's a good year, isn't it, Sheree?
so. I think, it's very.
Yes, and I stay here 1985, which was, met a lot of good people in the USFL, and was good football. I felt it was going to stick, and we was doing good things. So in 1985, they had put in a 84, 85, they had started putting in a lawsuit against the NFL, and they felt they could win it and kept showing promises. And 1985, it went to court, and they won it, but the rewards wasn't that great. But we all fought for another year, telling the owners, let's wait another year. Let's wait till the 86, 87 season before you go to court and give this league a chance. Give it a chance. Give it a chance to work. But one of the primary owners stepped in. You might know this guy, Donald J. Trump. Decided he wanted to go to court in 1985, in which he won. He won the lawsuit, but the reward was just $1. And that set the league back. The owners didn't come back, so they just dissolved the league. The last year was 1985, and that's the last year for myself and probably a lot of other guys, but a lot of good guys come out of that league and did great things in the NFL. But that was my last year of football, and no regrets. It was football was good to me, and I knew what it could do to my body and to my head, and I took that chance anyway, because athletics is probably the greatest teaching tool to me in the world. and teach you so much about life and about people, because as we deal with now, it's like you're in that dressing room with a lot of different uh, individuals from a lot of different ways of life, different lifestyles, different color, uh, and you learn that you all are one. You're all there for one thing, team, and you're all setting in together to do the right thing, and that's to win games. And that's the one thing everybody always asks: what did you truly miss? And that was my teammates, because we had grew so close, and it was family, and that's what that's what I enjoyed a lot, and that's what I got a lot from that experience with that, and being in a profession that's one of the tops in the country, and that a lot of young people look up to, and a lot of young men don't get that opportunity. But you try to take advantage of it when you get it, and that's what Larry, myself, and I think that's what opened the door for me. Not my, it was part of my athletic ability, but it was Larry. He set the standards, and I truly appreciate uh, everything that Larry
Yeah,
Larry did, and I'll go to my grave with that. You know.
definitely. I'm of course. Oh,
Yeah.
that I don't know. It still blows my mind. Like just whenever I think about it, it's incredible. It is.
Yeah.
And
Well, a
what?
lot of people say the same thing you say. And a lot of people don't think you can do certain things. They don't believe in you. But if you believe in yourself and you got the work ethic, you can do it, baby.
You did not. You I know you didn't want me to dance. You know that story, like growing up in the studio, they say you will walk in, duck your head down, and look, and it's like, where's Cherie? Of course, he's here for Cherie. She's the only black girl in here.
The
Um,
only one. The
right.
only one.
You know,
And
but okay, yeah, we soon find out. We know that that's your dad, and it's just like, what? And the guy's going to pay for this, and it's like, Cherie, go run, like go run, go to TSU, whatever. No, but
yeah,
I love
yeah,
story. I get it. I still love how that side of me and that ingrained in my genes. I'm an athlete. I am. And I know what it did. But just look at our stories, Dad. I'm not going into
yeah,
my, but just look at the alignment of how the professional world of dance or
yeah.
however. I didn't make as much money as you, but I know you didn't make as much money as they make now. So are you salty about that? Do you ever stop and are you ever like, you know?
That part of it, that part of it, I wish everyone could have seen,
Mhm.
and they didn't truly understand, even though you was at the top of your profession. But the money wasn't given to you as a lot of people think. But now it's a different picture.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a different picture. It was different times. But we put the work in for these guys now to
Yeah.
really get the money that is deserving to them. And the guys before me was doing the same thing. I made a little bit more than they made.
There were people before you. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm
but
playing. I'm playing. You
yeah,
weren't in the first round of football. So okay, but that's something that I think about and I wonder. I'm like, what if my dad's salty about that? But I appreciate your outlook. You're such a great person, But with
thank you.
all these things, it's the paving the way, or I'm kind of setting the standards or laying the foundation for something that's going to be so amazing when the time comes. I like to think that way of myself in dance, or if it was cheering or whatever else, where I hear
Yeah,
like because I saw you, I knew that there was a space for me, or just whatever
yeah,
outs are in whatever profession it is for you, just knowing that there are eyes on you. Um,
That's it.
in order to, it's like where do you take it or where does it end? But I also think that speaks to the passion behind it as well and the drive, because you went into education following that. And even from my observation of you, I was in the same school as you for a period of time back when they don't do this anymore, but back when kindergarten, the school had kindergarten all the way to 8th grade. So I was able to be at Hibbett with you when you were
Yeah.
there, coaching and teaching and such. And I'll share with you recently how people are like, the whole use something to tell me how old you are. It's like I'm Coach Woods teaching at Hibbett years old when he used to. But they love you for it. They respect and appreciate and admire you for what you gave them and the example that you provided to them. Like, hey, I'm a Black man who was able to do this, who came from, if we just backtrack through it all, you grew up having to drink out of a different water fountain than your counterparts. And here you are, you traverse school and the NFL and beyond and teaching and back to football and back to teaching. And it's not to go unnoticed. And I appreciate you for what, in that giving those things to you, I was able to glean from your experiences or your teachings as well. And what you share, how ways in which you shared, or how you capitalize on the opportunities given to you, um, is important. You're pretty awesome, Dad.
Thank you, baby. You too.
Thanks.
You too.
That's
I'm proud of you.
appreciate it. That means so much to me, Dad. I'm not going to cry. There
Yeah.
through this where I could have shed a tear. I'm not going to cry, but I cherish this. I cherish this moment and you sitting down with me. And
Yeah.
that picture over your shoulder makes me happy. Um, there's so many more things that I want to get into. So when I share this with people, I'll give them a chance to ask questions. But I like to talk a lot, so I'll be picking your brain. So thank you for sitting with me, Dad. I love you.
It's been enjoyable, dear.
I'm really shocked that you talked as much as you did. This is great.
It's nice talking to you.
I know, because I'm just so great.
Now, you know who that is?
That's me. That's me and my grandma and granddaddy.
Yeah.